Bagay yung compliqué wala met. Bagay yung compliqué wala met.
Brandon Kent, you will pay for them sins. So what is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be, why do I look, I know my skin is not skinning right now. Don't come for me. Also, my room is messy. It's so messy right now because I literally just got back from, just to go back to traveling. I'm literally home for literally less than 12 hours, literally. So the fact that I'm making this video, y'all should be lucky that I'm making this video. But my face just looks oily. I'm an oily skin girly, so at me. Let me stop because I'm trying to hurry up. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about books that I read. At least, I think I don't know. Well, I'm not going to talk about books I read in this quarter. I really wanted to make a video like that, but I feel like I'm just going to make that if I get the chance at the end of the year or something like that. But I just wanted to give y'all like an update video. So this isn't anything really interesting. Before I talk about the books that I read, and mind y'all, I'm going to be speeding through the books that I read. Me, when it personally comes to books, I don't be having too much to say. It's either I like the book, I don't like it. I'm going to tell you guys if you should read it, hands down, or if you shouldn't. If it's and most of the books ain't been. Also, I gotta say, I'm a mood reader, so a lot of y'all books y'all love, I don't like. And it's simply because I'm in a mood. I hate that. Is anybody else like that? If I'm overly anxious or something going on in my life, it makes reading a hard chore that I cannot stand. But I can leave things unsaid. I cannot leave things unsaid. So I always end up finishing the books, even if they're greatly bad. But before, I want to talk about books that I just recently bought. So I guess I just tell y'all, I'm going to show y'all books. I literally got these today. So I just wanted to tell y'all to put y'all, well, it's not like, girl, my TBR is like, there's so many books, but I got the first book I bought is My Kind of Guy. Mind y'all, I know homeboy at the bookstore. I know he be tired of seeing me. He like, this bitch come in here every time he depressed. I know he knows when I'm depressed because that's the only time I go in there, which is often, and that's not good. But the first book is My Kind of Guy by Serena Baldwin. I haven't read, so her and Elle Kennedy, I haven't read one of their books. Well, so I actually am currently reading him, and I'm just about finished with it. I have a few chapters left, almost literally done with it. So I picked up My Kind of Guy, which is actually the last book in this book series. I don't know what she calls it, but I picked it up because I just really like the premise. It's basically about this guy. He's like, I think he's a goalie or he does something for hockey. He's a hockey player, and he's always at this little gay bar. And the guy at the gay bar, I guess he has a crush on the hockey player. And so the guy at the bar has this free minor league hockey team, or I don't know. I haven't read it, but that's just the gist of it. Basically what happens is, oh boy literally coaches his minor league, the bar owner guy. I have no idea what their names are, but basically the bar owner basically asks the hockey player to coach his minor league thing for an exchange, and that exchange might have a little pleasure. That's all I'm gonna say. So it's like, you do right by me, I'm gonna do right by you and these kids. That's basically what it gives. And low-key, I was like, that's actually, I want to read that. And also the hockey player is really down on his luck, has been lifing for homeboy apparently. But the bar owner, he is sworn off partners. He just came to terms with, bro, just like me, he just came to terms, I'm just not gonna find nobody for me. So he's really more like, the bar owner is more like, I don't really, and I believe it's the hockey player that propositions this, but that just seems like that premise. I'm hoping if this book does not deliver, I'm going to be so mad, because that premise in itself, the exchange of, oh my God, I can't wait to read this book. I really want to read it. So the next book is this book, which is so freaking beautiful. Apparently they have a limited edition copy going around, but it's called The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman, and this is a retelling of the 12th century book I've never heard of. I don't know. Basically, the wolf is an analogy for chronic illness, and as somebody who has a chronic illness, this ruffles my feathers because I cannot wait to read this. I want to read this so bad. Other than that, I don't really have nothing to say because I don't really know that much about it until I read it, and I need to hurry up. I literally just wanted to make this video longer, so it's not like I'm just telling y'all, because I'm going to speed through the books I read. Oh, also I have the second book. Like I told y'all, I'm reading him. by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy right now. So I picked up the second book in the series. To be honest, I'm not really liking him all that much. It's not bad, but I wouldn't give it 5 stars. It's definitely not a 5-star read. The last thing I have is actually 2 books, Kiss My Ex and Hot Ex. So initially, I hope I don't get demonetized for showing y'all the covers, but initially I wanted to read the second book in this series. The author of these books is named May Archer, actually. But I really want to read the second book in this series, but like I said, I cannot leave things unsaid, so I'm gonna have to read the first book before I read the second book. But I really want to read the second book, but I'm trying not to start at the second book, which is kind of making me mad. But those are all the books I literally just picked up today because I'm depressed. On to the goods. So a book I read, I'm gonna put the time frame in the last 2 months. I'm just gonna say the books I've read, not the last month. I'm gonna say books I've read in the last month. Let's go. So the first book is God of Fury. I didn't have that much to say compared to some books I read, so you can see my annotations on the side, but that ending was not needed. This turned into 50 Shades of Grey. I'm honestly mad that I know where homegirl, and by homegirl, Miss Rena Kent, you will pay for them sins. I know that devil is under there waiting on her. I know that devil is under there waiting for Miss Rena Kent. God forgive me, let me not say nothing, I'm just joking, but don't come for me. But Rena Kent actually what? To follow up God of Fury, let me talk about it. So if you don't know God of Fury, this book has been out for so long, but I didn't really know much about it. Just picked it up. It's allegedly a mafia romance. This didn't really give mafia, but I think when I read the premise, I thought it would be action packed. It's just 2 people falling for each other. I loved how they fought, and this is my type of book through and through. This book literally is made for me. I personally am a type of guy who I'm the type of gay who honestly only reads books that have positions. I'm more that person. One thing about me, I'm always going to speak my truth. I'm not really into the flip, if you know what I mean. But this book wasn't that. Why did it just slip off my shoulder? This book isn't that. So it's like a more dominant, submissive. That is what I live and breathe. So I went into this book not knowing much about it. I got that, so I'm happy that I got that out of this book. I think I rated this book either 3 or 4 stars, but I can't remember. I know that this is part of a series. I did not read the series. I did not think it was bad. I read this in less than a day. So if that being said, if I could read this book in less than a day, then this book is good inherently. But like I said, I also cannot leave things unsaid. But also, it could take me 2 months to read a book sometimes if I don't like it. I'm just going to be dragging it along. But this book, surprisingly, I just read it. But would I recommend it? Honestly, don't think I would recommend this book, as this book, it talks about really heavy stuff that I was not aware of. I remember posting on my story about this book right after I read it, and I was like, when y'all read books, please be sure to read the TWs. See, because I go into books thinking I'm just this hardcore ass person, but in reality, I'm a soft. I'm not saying sensitive people are soft, but not knowing things like that could be like, when you read something and you think about something that happened to you, that's very much what this book gave me. So there's a lot, and it's just like, that ending. Basically, the ending is his mom's. I forgot the twink in this book. I forgot his name. Basically, the twink's mom, she's a major artist making millions, and her agent, trigger warning, raped him when he was younger. That is the big plot twist, which is crazy that I'm calling that a plot twist, because that's just insane. Like I said, I was not familiar with Miss Kent's work. That's the first book I ever read by her. But next up, I liked it enough when I found out Kent was writing the MM series. I was like, I need to get into it, because I did like it. I love the chemistry. I feel like everything was properly placed. I didn't feel like it was too many sexual scenes. I like that. I would recommend you read it, but also don't read it if you aren't into those things. And you're not into, nobody's into that. But if you don't think you're like, I'm trying to find the words, my brain cannot comprehend. If you don't think you're up for reading stuff about stuff like that, because that could be really triggering for anybody, don't read it. It's not that important. Your mental health is important. But the next book, like I said, Miss Kent decided to start an MM series, Kiss the Villain. I DNF'd this book. I did not finish this book. As a matter of fact, I DNF'd this book, and I am going to finish it, because I actually really like this book. I like this more, I think, than I like the first book. because this book follows everything that I love. It follows that dominant and submissive relationship, follows all of that. This book is like a teacher and student thing, so it's spicy, and it's like, I just feel like they got together too soon. But you expected that? Actually, no. I'm taken back. Literally, you could see I didn't even have that much to say about this book, just because I was in one of my moods while reading this book, and I was like, I don't feel like highlighting. I'm so lazy to where if I'm reading a book and there's something I want to highlight, I'm just not going to get up to grab my highlighter. I'm not going to get up to grab my markers, the little label markers, because I'm a mood reader. But basically, this book is diabolical. It's too much going on. How many tasers is homeboy go confiscate from your ass? How many diabolical? And you go into that man's house with tasers. I love people who's watching this who don't know what I'm talking about, because you're probably like, what? Basically, the more submissive one in the relationship, I guess he just can't accept that he likes men. And so every time he always is at homeboy's house, which is his teacher. As you, of course. So he's always at his house, just showing up unexpectedly. Tasers in hand, tasers, knives. There is literally a safe that what's his name? Is it Caden? I think that Caden, who's more like the dominant in this book. They're both pretty dominant, but he's more like the dominant in this book. But Caden is literally confiscating the fucking principal, confiscating all of the homeboy's devices, everything. They fight, they be tussling bad, and so this book is for me. The reason I didn't DNF this book, and I saw someone else say something about the writing, and I'm not gonna lie, when I read that review about the writing, I was like, maybe that's why this is really hard for me to read, because I love this book. It's just like when I think about it, I'd rather be reading something else, and that's not good for like any writer. If you want someone to read your book, you don't want them thinking like, oh, I want to read somebody else's book. And that's why in that, I don't know if I remember saying this in a video, but I honestly don't think I posted that video. But I remember saying, if I finish a book in a day, that's automatically a 5. Not 5, but I'm going to app start just because I read it so quick. I can say Alexandria Hazard, my savior, Miss Hazard, but I love anything she writes. I'm going to read that shit in a day. I'm going to read it in a day. However, if I think one of her books are 2 stars, I'm going to give it 3 stars because I read those books. I read Forbidden in less than, 5 hours? Demolished. Ate up. And honestly, it's been so long since I read one of her books. I initially skipped Forbidden because I just read that a couple days ago. So I actually probably should have included it in this video, but I read that a couple days ago, but I skipped it because of the premise. I was like, yeah, I'm not into that. When I did read that series, the Wrong Alpha series, it's like that side of book reading. I don't know if y'all into that, but I could talk about it more if y'all want to hear me talk about books like that. But any book she writes, even her Just a Bit series, I always read those in less than a day. Just love them down. But this book was taking me so long to read, and I really think it was because of the writing. I don't know what was going on in that writer's room. I don't know. It kind of do get juvenile, I'm not going to lie. But I will finish this book. I'm just not going to finish it now. But I actually did. Okay, my camera cut off. But that was Kiss the Villain by Rena Kent. I really did like the premise of that book. I loved it. I feel like I'm into stuff like that. Like I said, I'm into more dominant submissive books. Don't come for me. I know how y'all feel about stuff like that, but I got my wants and needs. You do too. So don't come for me. But what else do we have? I talked about this in my last video. I'm pretty sure I talked about it. It's probably the only book that... Actually, no, it's not. Let's just get into it. We have Savage Titan. I did read Savage Titan. This book is a novella. I was reading Brutal Titan, which I like Brutal Titan. I just didn't know it was that flip type of romance. And does that really matter? No, that does not matter. Nothing. I don't know. I read those types of books and love stories, but when it comes to tier lists, those always will, at least now in my life, those will not be like my go-tos. I don't know. But I've always liked books with like a submissive dom series, assuming, because listen, I'm the type of girlie who loves gender norms. Let me shut up before. I hope this video never gets posted. Watch this video get posted 10 years from now. People be like, cancel him. No, please don't. But I read Brutal Titan halfway through, I believe. I'm gonna read that too because that book is really short, but I couldn't include that too. I don't know how to feel about Brutal Titan. I don't know. Savage Titan I feel like too short. Like I said, y'all, this is a novella, and I like the characters, I guess. There was something I didn't even mark. I had nothing to say. I literally just read clean through this book. I don't even think I rated it because of how short it was, but at the end of the book, I was like, damn, that's crazy. Something happened, but I just can't remember, and that's pretty bad because I read this a week ago. It hasn't even been that long. Girl, and that is by Evie Olsen too. It's the series. I'm going to get to later books, but I just haven't read those. But also, the next book we have is Wolf Song, and I had a couple annotations. Wolf Song, I don't know. I forget what I even rated it. I probably rated it 3 or 4 stars. So, TJ Klune, I low-key became a Klune-tic. I became a Klune-tic. Girl, and I'm talking about in the Reddit subs and all kind of stuff. Like, that type of Klune-tic. I'm on Raven Song now, and I've literally been reading the audio, listening to the audiobook and reading it just because, I don't know, I just feel like I need a break from TJ Klune's writing. Obviously, this book is pretty long, and I love his writing style, but honestly, it gets, like, I love his writing style and how he mixes especially in Raven Song, he does, oh my god, 9th grade me would live for this, especially Raven Song, how the author, he does these things with Edgar Allan Poe, the Raven, where he's like, Nethermore, or what the fuck the Raven say? I forgot. Doesn't the Raven from Egan Joseph, it's Egan, doesn't the Raven say Nevermore or something? But he does that, and he's always repeating stuff in groups of 3 or 4 or some shit like that, literally just like Edgar Allan Poe, and I love that. But at times, his writing style did feel like juvenile, so I had to backpedal. And I was just like, especially, I feel like I noticed it more in Raven Song. I will say at the end of Wolf Song, Ox became so annoying to me. And this always goes back to me being a mood reader. Like I said, I'm a mood reader. So around that time when I was reading this, I was in one of my moods again. And Ox was really making me irritated. And just anytime Ox opens his mouth to say, my father, I'm just like, no, bro, shut up. So I know he had people's fathers left them. There are people's fathers who went to go get milk 80 years ago and still hasn't came back. Ox, you're no different from those group of people. And I see, because Ox is so important and stuff like that. But Ox really, low-key, I know he not a narcissist, and Ox has been through a lot of stuff. But bro be sending me sometimes. At the end of the book, he definitely really made me mad. And not made me mad, but it's just like I said, I'm a mood reader. And I was just, because I feel like TJ Klune does this thing where he overly repeats the same info. There in this book and Raven Song, there are parts where I completely skip because it's the same thing. I know what I already noticed. But like I said, I love TJ Klune's writing style. I'm literally looking at, I forgot the name of that book series, but the books is like The Lightning Struck, A Destiny of Dragons, and I don't know what that's called, The Lightning Struck Heart. I have those books on my TBR, but Ox, at the end of the book, he became a werewolf, and I don't know how I felt about that. I thought they were going to hold off. I really thought they were. I didn't think he was really going to turn, but he does turn. And I don't know, I guess I kind of liked it. And that ending, like, low-key, I love him and Joe. I just love them. I really love them. What book did also Wolf Song, not Wolf Song, but Forbidden reminded me of Wolf Song. When I read Forbidden, I was like, why is giving that book Forbidden? But I think it's just because of the age gap. When I started reading this book, I did not expect that age gap. It's not crazy. And y'all know they do disappear for 3 years, which though I hated reading those 3 years. I was like, can this please be over? And then we got him again in Raven Song, just from, what is his name? My brain is short-circuiting right now. It's just a lot going on today. But basically, it's just like them on the road in Raven Song. But I was like, damn, I gotta read it again. Yeah, nada. I think I gave Wolf Song 4 stars. I want to say I gave it 4 stars. I can't remember. I do know on Goodreads, Ox pissed me off. Ox was getting on my nerves because he kept repeating the same thing. Also, Joe, I don't know how I felt about Joe. How did I feel about Joe? Joe, I feel really bad because Joe had to take up so much stuff at such a young age, and it's just really messed up. And then his father was killed. And then Ox obviously is the main character in Wolf Song, but I do feel bad for Ox. I want to say that I have sympathy. My grievances with Ox was simply him repeating the same stuff. And anytime he opens his mouth and says something about his dad, I just want to close my eyes and go to sleep. Because I'm just like, Ox, babe, you're not the first. You're not going to be the last. People's father. And I know that's bad. Maybe I don't want to keep talking about it like that. Because maybe I'm just going to shut up. Because I don't want to keep talking about that. But I just felt like that was overly done. And I get that the person he be talking to probably doesn't know that about him. But also, I like how this feels really southern. It doesn't even feel like they're from Oregon. And when I was listening to the audiobook of Raven Song, the speaker for, or when they would start speaking for Elizabeth, it'll be like this southern accent. And I'm just like, where does this southern accent come from? You are from Oregon. That's right by California. Girl, you do not have no southern accent. That is so far. That is over 2,000 miles away from the South. Even Texas. And Texas is big as shit. But next book we got is When a Tide Held the Moon. This book, I don't know if I talked about this book. I don't think I did. Really juvenile, really cute illustrations. A really cutesy and very demure book. I like this book. However, I did not buy the romance one bit between the two main characters. I don't know what I think I rated it either 4 or 3 stars. But I don't know how I felt it. What I really liked about this book is that the main character is, I believe he's from Cuba, I think. It's been a while since I read this book, but I think he's from Cuba, and he speaks a lot of Puerto Rican Spanish, and I love it. And I just loved learning about Spanish. I don't, like, as somebody who should know a language based off their ethnic background, I guess, I had a thrill reading this book. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why. I just spit out word vomit everywhere, but I liked learning about it. It was really fun. I learned a lot of Spanish and stuff like that. It was really cute. And there's a dictionary in the back, and I loved it. I had so much, oh my god, I had so much fun reading this, learning Spanish. It literally made me go out and buy a Spanish and French freaking dictionary because I loved reading about it. I didn't think I would read about it. I didn't think I would like it that much, but really good book. I do recommend it, actually. It's just very juvenile. It's basically about a mermaid. The mermaid gets captured, and like I said, our main character, Benny, he basically born and raised in Cuba, but then he moves to America, gets a job, all of that, but he gets fired from his job and he goes to join the circus act. He goes to join the freak show. Can we say that? I don't know if we can say that. I'm gonna say circus. But he goes basically to join the circus and stuff like that. And it's a very cute book. You just follow him on his journey and how freaking corrupt Morgan is. But that's about all of it. The illustrations were really cute. Read it if you want. It's really good. I think this is our last and final book. It's Neurovance. Guys, first off, it took me how many days? I think it took me 7 days. Either it took me 5 or 7 days to finish. This book big as fuck. Listen, I be busy. I be having stuff to do. I can't just sit around all day and read. And it gets so bad to where I have to force myself to stop reading. You have to live your life. You cannot just be at home reading books 24/7. Even though that is something that I wish I could do. If I could get paid by just reading books, I best believe I would have been applied for that position. But apparently you can't. But at least I don't think you can. But so Neurovance, I'm gonna say the authors of the book we just talked about. The author's name is Vanessa Vita Kelly. Y'all see how quick I be moving. But Neurovance is by Alexandria St. Pierre. Basically, it's super cute. It's this really big, humongous ass book. But it basically follows, I read this a while ago too. It follows Jay, and I forgot the other. Oh no. It follows Jay and Milo. And basically, Milo ends up, I believe, working for this company. Milo ends up working for this company. The company owner is really corrupt. He killed the co-owner. It was a 2-man thing. They both created the company. He is so freaking conniving. Maybe I shouldn't give y'all, I don't know. Well, you're watching this video. I still recommend you read these books because I'm never going to give you something thoroughly. You still got to read the stuff that I talk about because I still be missing all types of details. But just know, I love Neurovance. The ending, at that ending, low-key, because why at 5, and I kid you not, at 5 in the morning, I'm up, kicking my feet, reading this book, no sleep. But why at 5 a.m., I'm in my room cackling towards the end of the book when we see Sebastian looking like crazy. What is it called? Weird. Basically, Sebastian is looking like Weird Barbie. And if I don't know, that was okay. It wasn't meant to be funny, but low key, I was just like, Seb, come on now. And I get like they couldn't get out, especially Seb. He could not for real get out. And then when we at the end, when we got him, when we learned more about Seb, I really was so sad at the end of the Neurovance. I did feel like Jay forgave Milo funky stank dank behind. I feel like he, like, cause Milo, you would like, but also, and I said this in my review, I was like, I am a person who is socially awkward, so I could see if really fucking something really diabolical was happening to me in a moment, I wouldn't know what to do, cause I'm socially awkward, and just perfectly normal situations. So if someone was really, say somebody kidnapping me, I'm just gonna be like, oh, should I say that? Maybe that's not a good analogy, which basically they were being kidnapped. And Milo has the bright idea to erase everything. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want to give y'all too much, because I really don't even think I'm giving y'all spoilers. I'm just talking about stuff I liked about it. But basically, Milo, you was down bad for that. But I could see Milo being socially awkward, thinking that was the right thing to do in that moment. So kind of get homie, I don't know. But you guys, that is the end of this video. I have to go, but I don't know. It's so weird being in front of the camera. I hope this time filming this video, I'm not as awkward. In that first video I posted, I was really awkward in that video. Also, the hell I had trying to post that video to say it didn't get no views. Come on now. But I feel like I'm really posting these videos for me because I just like looking back at these videos. It's just so fun to look back on. But I hope you guys have a really great day. Remember to drink y'all's water. If you would like to follow this damn camera. If you would like to follow my Goodreads, I believe my Goodreads is Joe May. It's gonna be in the description box. I don't know what it is. My Instagram and my socials are all like Joe X Mason. But also, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm always here. Probably not doing nothing. Probably. I don't know. Bye, guys.